We're live. Make sure it pulls up on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now on your streams.
I think it'll probably take a second, but it's definitely here. It says scheduled 7:06, which means it's upcoming. If you click on it, yep, I can hear myself. There it is. Sweet.
All right.
Sup? Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to Code Unlocked, dude. Welcome to episode 3.
Yeah. It's episode 3. It's exciting.
Episode 3. I know. Yeah, just started this this whole fun little thing on Monday, and yeah, here we are, 3 episodes in. But thanks for wanting to sit down with me. I think this has kind of been a long time in the making. And
yeah, absolutely.
So here we are. But so I guess we'll just get right into it. We'll tell us a little bit about yourself. You don't have to go into when you were born or whatever. But I don't know. If you had to talk about what you do, what are your hobbies, or what's your current status, is whatever.
Okay.
What would you tell somebody?
So I am Dustin. I know you from, honestly, I know you better now, but I know you from your dark days of World of Warcraft. And
the dark days, that's right.
Going all the way back to where we were about 550 pounds combined between the two of us.
That's right.
And yeah, so I I work for a package delivery company. I'm a supervisor for UPS, and my job.
How long have you been there?
I have been there for 16 years. I am
16 years.
A manager of drivers that deliver boxes to anybody that might be watching.
Does it feel like 16 years?
You know, in the beginning, it felt like a long time.
Yeah.
But the last 6-7 years, they all blend together. I don't remember. There's no gaps in between. It's just do you remember when? And you realize that was 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. So that's something that I do. As far as free time goes, I have reconnected recently with golf that I used to play a lot when I was a kid. And I would say that another hobby really is CrossFit. I would actually qualify that as a hobby at this point. Yeah. It is something I do to take care of myself, but at the same time, it is very much like what I do for me, essentially. It is something that I enjoy. It's something that I do to pass the time.
And so let's not get too far ahead. I mean, not that you are, but let's just start from, I guess, how did you get into UPS? How does that
So, I mean, UPS was really one of those jobs where I was going to Sac State, and very similar to you, I came back here.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
I was. Wow. I was going to Sac State. I did a semester there. My mom was diagnosed with cancer. I moved home, and I needed to get a job to help my dad out a little bit while I was going to college. So I got a job delivering packages because there's somebody that lives up in my dad's neighborhood, and he's a retired UPS manager. And what he did was he was a very big, I guess I would say he was a big management member for a long time. He was there when they launched WorldPort, which is a massive delivery port in Louisville, Kentucky. It's one of the biggest airports in the United States. That is how he kind of grew to the position that he's in. And he highly suggested that I get a job there, just kind of doing my own thing. So I loaded trailers. Excuse me.
Yeah, take a sip, dude. You're thirsty.
I loaded trailers. I did all the grunt work, and I just never left. I kept going to college, but I decided that I wasn't going to leave UPS. I got into management.
What were you studying? Did you say? Sorry,
I started with criminal justice, and then I ended up going into business management, and mostly because UPS would pay for my school if I continued down an avenue that was profitable for the company. They basically would pay, and so they paid for my school. I took it a little bit at a time. It took me 8 years to graduate. I went very slowly, but eventually we passed and got through all that. And it was one of those things where they offered me a good job. They offered me a career. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I really didn't. If somebody asked me to go back and do it again, I would not. But it's a good career. They take care of me. It's physically difficult, but I wouldn't go down that path again. There's some things in my life that I would have rather have done, but it's a good job. It pays the bills.
Let's go back. Let's go back 16 years, or whenever you realized you wouldn't want to do that. What would you be doing right now, or what would you like to be doing?
The biggest thing that I would actually love to do differently is actually pursue something that I really cared about. And I'm not sure what that would have been 16 years ago. But
Okay. Would
it
it, like,
is
if you knew about CrossFit then, that probably would have been it, maybe,
I would
right?
have enjoyed that, maybe getting into something like that. But
Yeah.
honestly, maybe going for kinesiology and becoming a personal trainer, things that I really enjoy now
Okay.
as an adult. But that's the thing, is I was a very different person back then. The only thing I cared
Nice.
about was
Yeah.
playing video games, being inside, doing things that were not particularly healthy for myself. And it was a long process to get to where we are now, to where my body is able to like support what I want to do, if that makes any sense.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Um, do you think that like working and what you do now every day, like does that hinder life in general and then like training and other things, or does
Well,
it
so
does it complement it, you think?
for life, UPS is really hard.
Yeah.
You have a schedule that really adapts to anything. So I could be working 5 hours and have a really cool day, or I could break away and go knock out a couple errands, come back and do the end of my day and go home. I worked probably 70 hours this week. That storm came through in the Sierra Nevadas. We were filming this on March 10th, if anybody's watching in the future. But at this point, there is literally 500 inches of snow in Mammoth Lakes, and 395 coming north is completely closed. There's 300 inches of snow at most of the ski resorts in Tahoe, and my job is upside down mess right now. Getting packages from the Bay Area centers, getting packages from the Los Angeles centers. They're not coming in. It's really hard to get stuff going back and forth, and so we finally had a little break in the weather this week, and it was miserable. All my drivers worked 60 hours, which is the limit that you can really work per the Department of Transit, the DOT.
Yeah.
But honestly, physically, at about 60 hours, your body starts to break down. Like there's a reason for that.
For sure. So what, other than the obvious, like snow and bad weather makes conditions shit, you can't drive, like whatever it is. But like if so if the packages can't get here, would that mean that you're not gonna work, until
It's
it
actually
catches up, or how does that work?
it's kind of the opposite. So what ends up happening is the packages arrive late. So they get to
So
the
they'll get here
center.
no matter what, I guess, until there's
They
a
get to
fucking
the center a
avalanche.
day or two behind. But what ends up
Yeah.
happening is we still get everything from the eastbound. So
Oh, okay.
UPS is fed from like a rail yard. And so there's a massive rail yard in Chicago, Illinois. It's called the
Yeah.
Cache Facility. It's literally like 5 square miles. I went
So you
there
guys are getting tag teamed from both
Yeah,
sides.
so what ends up happening is that they just run everything from the east, and then they'll advance work that I guess the best way to put it is when you do economy shipping and it says 5 to 7 business days or whatever the days are.
Yeah.
We have a window, but it doesn't mean the package isn't already at the next UPS facility. This is the same for any carrier. So they'll advance work. So where you ordered from Memphis, Tennessee, you ordered some new grips, and they're getting shipped out from Bear Complex, and they'll be at your door in 5 days. And then all of a sudden the next day it says out for delivery. And you're like, how the hell did that happen? Well, what happened was it came in on a rail, and we didn't have any work from the west, so we ran it and advanced the service on all those customers, and we ended up delivering it. But what ends up happening is as soon as there's a break in the storm, they're advancing shit, and then trailers that we didn't expect show up, and then they put those on the door because they have to, and it's a snowball effect. So right now I don't want to go into too much detail, but we're like 2 weeks behind. We will eventually catch up in 2 weeks, but there's weather delays. If you live in Truckee right now, it's very unlikely that you receive a package. It's tough right now.
Yeah. And this is unnatural, I guess, or not normal in Reno in general, like we don't get weather like this, but like this is like extra fucked for you
It
guys.
is, but then COVID, we just did that. In 2018, we didn't have enough staffing. It's
just another thing.
UPS is, we're gonna get hit by a comet, and we're gonna have to deliver through the comet debris. Like it is what it is, man.
Yeah,
the whole world could be on fire, and we're gonna be there.
Like, hey, it's a good thing you're still getting your package, bro. You got to get your grips in.
That's it. That's exactly where we're at. And honestly, as people get more comfortable ordering things, then that is going to be a thing. So
yeah, and the better you guys are, like as you guys are always on time, or like it's like, oh well, we're just gonna keep ordering then. But if you guys like were shit, then it would slow you guys down, and it would. But you guys are so good already that everybody just works so hard over there.
I mean, the company runs itself for the most part as long as everybody does their part, and it's very similar to a lot of things in life. It teaches discipline. It's very militaristic in the terms of you do what you're told to do. You do what you're told to do when you're told to do it. And even if you don't necessarily agree, you follow instructions, you go do the job. And I think that actually is one of the reasons why discipline in the gym, disciplines with my hobbies like golf, things that are extremely frustrating, is really simple for me now as I've gotten older. Is I've come to terms with the fact that sometimes the grunt work's the hardest work. Like you got to put in the work.
For sure.
Like for learning a snatch, you're never going to learn a snatch unless you snatch. And it's going to suck at the beginning because you suck. And it's like, okay, I videoed myself and this is awful. So I'm going to fix this thing. And then you got to put in the reps. Well, it's the same thing at UPS. Like I'm not good at this, this, and this. I got to get the research to figure out how I can fix those things. And it's a constant process.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Next. So I guess, I don't know if I have this correct, but you're going to clear it up for us, me and everybody right now, is you kind of have like a story where I think is you started out like normal healthy, I will say, right?
Yeah.
And then you went unhealthy.
Correct.
And then, or like, so like the first one being healthy, like not just healthy, but like fit or like.
So I was athletic. I was athletic as a kid.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So not just like, like normal, or like you were more, athletic or more fit as a kid. And then it went unhealthy in like one direction and then unhealthy in another direction.
Correct.
And then in those directions being like severe weight loss, and then the other one being severe weight gain or something like that, right? And then now where we are now being CrossFitter and being super healthy, something like that.
Okay. So I can, as a kid, I played baseball, played travel baseball. I played baseball my whole life. And for a lot of people that play baseball, this is actually a thing. A buddy of mine at work, his kid's on a travel team, just fractured his elbow pitching. Very similar situation to what happened to me. I played travel ball in Los Angeles year round. It's always beautiful, so there's always baseball.
And is that so fracturing your elbow? Is that just from throwing?
So yeah, it's a stress fracture of too much force. And so what ended up happening for me is I actually dislocated a tendon that connects my arm.
Wow.
Or it tore, and so it had to be repaired. When it was repaired, it was never the same. So what ended up happening for me is I played baseball till I was about 16. And when I injured myself, I was actually just starting to get into computers. I really enjoyed computers. And so I started playing a game called Counter-Strike, which I'm sure people are familiar with CSGO now. Well, I played the grandfather edition, like the very beginning of Counter-Strike, 1.4, 1.6, like when CPL was still a thing.
Yeah.
And I played that as I was recovering. And what I ended up doing is I didn't do my rehab. I just decided I was going to play computer games and go to school, and that was going to be my life.
So you're like, fuck this, I'm hurt and I'm having more fun doing this.
Exactly. So, and I've never really run into a thing where I've done something and I was bad at it. At least like I picked up computer games pretty quick. I had really good hand-eye coordination, and I was able to play well enough to one of the teams that I played for went to CPL, and I couldn't go because I had to take finals, but I was an alternate, and it was cool. I played that for a while, and then I started to go look into other game avenues. I got in Diablo 2, which I really enjoyed. I still actually play Diablo 2 to this day. They released Diablo 2 Resurrected, but if I ever actually play a video game, it's usually that. I have fun. It's a throwback. But the unhealthy started probably my senior year of college, or my senior year of high school. I got into a game very similar to World of Warcraft called Dark Age of Camelot. I played that just obsessively.
That's like the OG like MMO.
It was before World of Warcraft, because I remember in the third expansion of that game, half of our guild quit to go play a game called World of Warcraft. And so
this is like 2004.
This is like 2002. So
2002, okay.
2002, everybody was playing Dark Age of Camelot, and the third expansion was, I don't know, like 06 or whenever vanilla dropped. I don't actually know.
I think 04 was when it was like released.
And they left on release. The day of, we lost half of our group. And it was just like, wow, okay. So it was very real. And I didn't play World of Warcraft. I hated World of Warcraft because it blew up the game that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And so I didn't play it. And so I played Dark Age, and then I just got into gaming in general. And it really didn't matter what I played. I would kind of get absorbed into it, whatever the game was, Diablo, whatever. And so I kind of went down that path. And then in, I would say late 2003, my mom got diagnosed with cancer. I was going to be going to college.
What kind of cancer?
So she started with lung cancer, and then it went to lymphatic cancer at the end, and that's actually what she died from. But in 2003, in 2003, she was diagnosed with lung cancer. I had a really hard time with it. It was the first time I've ever been on my own in my life.
Wow.
I didn't know how to eat, so I just bought fast food.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to cook.
Was she a smoker?
She was. So she smoked until I was about 15, 14, something like that, and she quit. And it was like a long time before she actually was diagnosed. She tried. It just as a lifelong smoker, they tell you that there's no damage. They don't. That's not real. It's permanent. And so after that point, I was going to Sac State. I got through my first semester. I came home because I don't know. I almost dropped one of my classes. Like I was at like a C- in two of my classes. I was barely studying. I just barely getting by.
Because of gaming, or because of your mom, or
I mean, I would say that I got into gaming as an escape from the fact that I didn't know how to process what was going on in my life anymore.
That's the common,
I was out by myself. Yeah, I'm out by myself. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with my life. I have no goal or ambition anymore. I can't play sports. Like it was a lot of change within a couple of years. I moved home. I got a job with UPS shortly after. I worked at Walmart for a little while in jewelry.
Really?
About a year.
Holy fuck, in jewelry?
Yeah, I'm a salesman, man.
Damn, bro.
I can make the
slinging wedding rings for Walmart.
Exactly. And the Jostins, do you know the class rings, man?
Yep. Jostins.
You gotta sell the hell out of that.
But, oh my God.
Those were the two big things at Walmart, and I hated that job, and I was terrible at it. Like I'd close the whole fucking jewelry counter early and go home. I was a terrible employee. I just wanted to go home and game, so I just shut it down and I'd go home. Like I was supposed to be there till 9:30, and I'd just shut it down at 9, cash myself out, and go up 30 minutes early and just let myself out.
That's right.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was I just, for the next few years, I just gained 10 pounds. I met a girl that I played games with. We moved in together, and then that was actually the beginning. And I went from like...
Yeah, let's get some metrics. So what were you... Okay, backtrack just
I was about 180.
When you're playing ball, you're 180?
So I don't think I finished growing until I was 24. Like I'm not exaggerating. I kept growing and growing. So for the sake of this, for those of you guys that don't know me, I'm about 6'4". And I was probably about 6 foot when I graduated high school, and I kept growing. So I was late. Like I was small in high school. I didn't grow until my junior year. I went from like 5'2" to like 5'9" in one summer. Damn. And so I was small. And then as I got bigger and the stress on my elbow, that's probably how I hurt myself, is I was still playing a lot. I was still doing that. I was growing rapidly, and I put a lot of stress on growing bones and joints. So what ended up happening was from about that 2003 point, I went from about 170 pounds to probably like 240 within like a year or two.
Holy fuck.
And so at 240, at that point, it just became constant from 2006 to about 2012. I went from multiple relationships, living my life, whatever, working at UPS.
Yeah.
I was a supervisor almost immediately. Like I worked for 6 months as a loader, and then I became a supervisor. And it's really easy to gain weight in the warehouse as a supervisor, because one of the rules is you're not supposed to touch boxes, because that's union work, and you're supposed to let the union employees do their work. You're supposed to supervise and coach and train and do those things.
So meaning no physical activity.
So I was physical. Sure, I walked around, but I was not doing the grunt work that people think of when you look at the UPS drivers struggling through the door. It wasn't that. I was just little stuff. And so I went from about 240 to, in 20 13, I think, is when I finally decided I was going to start to try to figure out how to get healthy. I was 305.
Holy fuck.
So
240 to 305.
Yeah. And so if you think about it, over 10 years, I went from about 175 to 305 pounds. And I was a big boy. I was a big boy. I had a 42, 44-inch waist. Wow. I couldn't do a push-up. I couldn't do a pull-up.
Yeah.
I couldn't squat my body weight really. Like I had to leverage myself up and down. And what happened was I was dating somebody that I ended up marrying, and it was my first marriage that has come and gone, but I was a stepfather, and they were starting to take after my example and their father's example, both overweight. And I made a decision that I was going to lose weight for them. And I wanted to be a positive role model for their life to show that somebody could live their life and lose weight. And so that's what I did. I went from 305 and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So I bought one of those exercise DVDs off the infomercials, like, the sad infomercials at 2 a.m.
Of course,
dude's getting shredded. So I bought P90X.
P90X, huh?
And I did it. I didn't know what I was doing. I bought 20-pound dumbbells and down from the Walmart down the street off Northtown. And I started getting fit in my garage, or in my front living room. I didn't even have a garage at that point. I was in an apartment.
What was your diet like now? Or like, what were you changing it to?
I didn't know how to eat, so I just didn't really eat.
So you just stopped eating.
I just ate way less, so I stopped. I would still eat fast food. That's the crazy thing, is people think you can't lose weight on fast food. You certainly can. It doesn't mean that you're healthy, but Panda Express, I would just get vegetables and chicken, like the teriyaki chicken, no sauce though.
Like if you're gonna get anything, like that's not that bad, honestly.
It's fine. Like it's covered in crap.
If you need to survive or something, but if you need to, like that, there are things that you can get from fast food that it's like best case scenario. You know what I mean? It's still not good, but like it's not the worst, I guess is the way to put it. But anyhow,
I 100% agree with that. I would eat like Wendy's. I think my go-to was like a big thing, like the big thing of chili, whatever it is, a cup or a bowl or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And a salad and a burger. And just burgers are actually it's not the worst thing that you'll ever eat.
Exactly. Right.
They're not that bad for you. And so I did that for a long time. I would just kind of pick and choose on fast food menus. I learned how to make like 4 things myself. I could make rice. I could make chicken in the oven. Just little stuff. Just burger meat.
How long until you saw you lost 10 pounds, or when were you measuring it? Were you weighing yourself every day? Like what was the process to metrics and things?
My very first round with P90X, I lost like 12 pounds in the first week. Like it was instantaneous.
That's insane.
It wasn't like I was lazy, and movement pattern wise, like I was not trained. I did not know what I was doing in the gym. That I'm not going to pretend about that, but copying what people do, what I see, like that is sports. As a kid, that's how you learn. You watch a coach, you see coach do it, you try to copy coach. And that's all I did, is I just did what I saw on the videos. And
how many days are you doing this?
So P90X was 6 days a week, 1 day off. All the
45 minutes or something.
All the workout DVDs.
Oh, I guess it's 90 minutes. That's a 90, right?
So some of them are 90. The yoga is 90, and the plyometrics, which was actually brutal, was about 90 minutes. The rest of them are about an hour. I think it was like a push-pull split, not a lot of legs.
Yeah. Fuck leg day.
Yeah, they really didn't do it. A lot of push-ups, a lot of pull-ups, basic curls. And when I say push-ups and pull-ups, like some weird push-ups and pull-ups, like you're doing like...
Not the shit we do. No.
No, like you're doing like a diamond push-up, and you're trying to do like a staggered arm push-up, and you're... He's just trying to make it not boring, because...
Sure.
You could just do push-ups and pull-ups and sit-ups in your house and eat well, and you'll lose weight.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I did that program, and I didn't know what else to do after 90 days. I went from 305 to 220 in 90 days. I lost 80 pounds.
Wow. Dude, that's like...
And I was insane about it. Like, that's
you could have been like a story. Like that like a testimonial for them.
So I actually still have the video. I did P90X3 when they released it. This is years later.
Yeah.
And I gave them my whole story. They actually asked me to be in the
Really? See, I figured out.
commercial.
Yeah, I could see that.
I just didn't. I was embarrassed, and I honestly, I wasn't
Yeah.
proud of. I wasn't proud of it necessarily because there's some stuff that like you don't want to encourage people to do. Like
Sure.
As I was watching that, or as I was doing that, I watched the show The Biggest Loser, which is awful for you.
Yep.
And so I emulated the thing that I saw there was they just worked out incessantly. And so I started doing doubles and I started eating less.
Okay, so you became like obsessed.
Yeah, and I didn't understand how small I was getting, and I just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I thought that the way that I could look bigger was if I just kept getting smaller, it would look bigger. If that makes any sense. And it was the absolute opposite. Like I was thinking like I'd just lose fat and I would just look shredded.
Yeah.
I never thought about putting muscle on to look shredded with.
Yeah, just being skinny, then you're jacked.
Yeah, exactly. And so for me, I just kept getting smaller. I did P90X. I wasn't athletic enough to do the second DVD, funny enough. P90X2 has some actually athletic moves, like 4 medicine balls, 2 for your feet, 2 for your hands, and you're doing like push-ups and you're doing like stars with them and stuff like that. Like it was actually fairly athletic for some of the things that he was kind of showing people into athleticism. And a lot of the methodology of that is very similar to CrossFit as far as it's like metabolic endurance, like you're constantly moving, there's very little rest. And it's learning how to just keep moving and keep moving and keep moving. So I did those programs. I did P90X 1, 2, and 3. And then I saw Insanity with Sean T.
I remember that. Yeah, I tried that out one time.
And I wanted to look like that man. That man is he's jacked and he is athletic and he's an impressive dude.
He's got good energy. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah.
He's Coach Code, dude. He's up in your face telling you gotta go. Like that's real.
He's fun. Yeah. So you tried that out?
So I did that, and that's how I got to my smallest. I went from 205 to 175. And so I'm standing at 6'4". I'm 175 pounds. I have a 30-inch waist.
And you had a 44-inch waist.
Yeah. So I lost 14 inches. And honestly, if you ever see me work out, for those of people that are actually at the gym, if you ever see me work out without a shirt on, I still have stretch marks to this day. Like genuine stretch marks at the bottom of my abs. I'll never have a full six-pack because it's loose.
So you lost 130, 140 pounds in 6 months? Like was the remaining 30 pounds or what?
I got down to about 200 pounds in that first year. And then it was just like steady progress for like another 6 months for the last 30 pounds. And what ended up happening was I didn't know what to do, but I was getting bored of the same shit in my living room. Or I used to go down to my clubhouse. I'd bring my own DVD player and plug it in.
Really?
In the clubhouse at the apartment complex, because I didn't want to drive my neighbors nuts, because I started to get athletic enough to do some of the jumping and like some of the fast stuff. And I was like, okay, I don't want to drive my neighbors insane. So I went down to the clubhouse and I would do it. And what ended up happening was I saw they released a program with an Israeli bodybuilder. His name is Sagi Kalev. And his program was called Body Beast. And it was the first time that I saw pick heavy thing up, get jacked.
Okay.
And that was what turned the corner for me. Honestly, it might have saved me from an eating disorder, but his meal plan was about eating, not cutting. And the training was about, honestly, just muscular endurance. Like you would train to failure, and then you train to failure again with a lighter weight, and then you train, and it just drop sets and just brutal. And then pyramid sets, like escalating sets, where you start with a lightweight and you work up to a heavy single or a heavy double or whatever. And it was just literally just breakdown, build up, breakdown, build up. There was legs in the program for the first time, like an actual leg day, to where I was left like floored. And these
because you weren't doing any legs before then.
I mean, the legs were, they say legs, but it was a lot of jumping, a lot of plyometrics. It wasn't legs. So for me, like the actual legs was, I mean, stuff that we do in CrossFit all the time now, dumbbell squats and things like that. But it was hard for me. I've never done that. And it kind of breached me into looking up, like, what else can I do? And so I started looking on YouTube, and I found a guy, Larry Wheels, big steroids guy, by the way. Didn't find this out at the time. But
he's super open about it, right? He like tells about
he is now. He is
wasn't
now.
then.
He was not back then. He was one of the fake natties, or at least he never talked about it.
Okay.
And so what ended up happening for me is I saw powerlifting, which is kind of how I ended up in this space.
Yeah.
I decided I wanted to get strong, not small.
Which is good. That's healthy. Yeah.
It was healthier. I ate more. I started to eat. I gained weight. I started to kind of go back a little bit, but I started to build a really big base of muscle. So I went from like 175 at my smallest, and I did that Body Beast program. I gained like 20 pounds. I went from 175 to a 195. I did it a few times. And then like these are all 90-day programs. So it's like 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. It's almost like a training cycle. And so I think I did it for 3 cycles, and then I got into powerlifting, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I wanted to do it. So I would YouTube videos of workouts, and I would literally go copy exactly rep scheme, everything of what I saw.
Just hitting some deadlifts, some bench, back squat.
So I realized I'm a terrible squatter. And still to this day, I'm not a good squatter, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I do like to bench, and I'm a decent bencher. And then I realized I love deadlifting. Deadlifting, it makes sense in my body. Like all my,
you got long levers.
All my lengths and everything are all very good for the deadlift. And there is something that cannot be replaced in this world of picking up a heavy object and holding it like that. The top position of a deadlift is,
I feel like a badass.
It's exciting. That's why I like it. And so that's why I got into powerlifting.
And how long did you powerlift for? Like, how long would you say you were a powerlifter, or would you say you're a powerlifter? Like, or would you classify yourself as that, or is that like only if you compete?
I think that you have to compete to be a powerlifter, but I did powerlifting training. I did the big 3. I did accessories for those, and I did those from like 2016 to 2020.
Okay.
And COVID was really kind of the end of that, because I had built up a home gym. I'd moved on in my life. I'd been through a marriage. I'd been through a divorce. I bought my own house. I met my wife that I'm with right now. I had a home gym at my old house. I had a home gym at my new house. And my home gym grew over time. So I started out with just a rack. Then I had a rack and about 40 pounds of dumbbells, whatever. But before I got rid of all of it, going into COVID, I had a 1 through 80 on all dumbbells at 5-pound increments. I had about 700 pounds of deadlift, like what I used for deadlift, but that I could fit on a collar of my barbell. I had a nice barbell. It was about $300, and like I spent some money. And so I did that going through COVID. And it's funny thinking back, as I don't know if I've told you this story, but I remember watching you getting fitter through, it was either Facebook stories or Instagram stories. It was something. And I'm watching you get fitter, and I'm thinking to myself, man, he's getting really fit now. And I was like, God, but he's so small, and it doesn't seem like he lifts a whole lot. And I'm like, huh. And I keep seeing you post things like 95-pound thruster for blah blah blah. I'm like,
all right, yeah.
That doesn't weigh anything. Doesn't weigh anything. What is he doing in his life? And then like 135-pound clean. I'm like, I could just pick up 135 pounds and put it over my head, which is true. But I didn't understand. You can't replicate the CrossFit training intensity until you have tried CrossFit. I really don't think that. I don't think anybody gets it until they try it. So from a powerlifting standpoint, all the weight sounds really small. And a lot of good powerlifters, like they could show up in a CrossFit box tomorrow and win the total.
All right.
They'd win, and it would not be close. I don't care which CrossFitter you pick up. If they're a competing decent powerlifter, they will win over a CrossFitter at the total. But then right after the total, it's like do the CrossFit total, and then after this, it's going to be 4 times 5 rounds, and you're going to start with 50 GHDs, and those guys will never get off the GHD. Like,
go run 200 meters. All right,
yeah, here, Murph. Just go do Murph right afterwards. Those are the 2 things. And it's just, I remember seeing you getting really fit. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? And I don't know if you remember, but when we were in COVID, I was running a little bit, and I'd see you on Strava, and I'd give you a hard time about running.
That's right.
I was teasing you about running a little bit, and you were telling me to come in and try CrossFit.
Yeah, I was actually just scrolling through my Facebook messages because I remember when you messaged me asking about and talking about those things, Strava and running.
So I was like, fuck it, why not? And so COVID ended, and I think I started at Double Edge in August of 2020.
It's like August, yeah, yep.
And then I think you went coach like 3 days after my first class that we were supposed to be working
It
out in
was
the same
something
class.
like that, yeah. Because I had just started coaching at 6:30 Midtown only in July of 2020, so right during that same time, and then I became full time in January. So 6 months after that, when I became full time. But I remember that was when 5:30 South was always fucking full, always packed.
Yeah.
And now that I became a coach, I didn't want to take a member spot, like, because the class was capped, especially like with COVID rules. We had, I think, capped at like 18 or whatever it was, 16 or some shit. And
absolutely. I remember that.
And so then I didn't want to take someone's spot when I could technically work out at any time. So then I stopped going to 5:30 because I didn't want to take up someone's spot for it being full. So then that's when we stopped working out together, and you just started. But you stuck with it, bro. You didn't need me to be there, which is sick. That was the best part, is that it wasn't like Cody stopped coming with me or whatever. He's not here.
Yeah, I know it. I mean,
which is
fun.
good.
CrossFit is fun. I would say it's fun. That's why I'd say now it's actually a pastime. It's something I enjoy.
When could you say that you were like hooked and you're like, all right, this is my new shit. Like, I'm going to do this every day, Monday through Friday or Saturday, like 6 months in, 2 months in, 1 month in? Was there like a certain day that you're like fucking already that you can remember? It was like, this is cool or something. I don't know.
I want to say on my second week, we did Fran. It's the only time I've ever done Fran.
Yeah.
And I got just destroyed. I thought to myself, I was pretty strong. I was about 230 pounds. I was as big as I had been.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fluff weight too. Like I was trying to bulk. I was trying to put on size when I started CrossFit. And I got buried by Fran. And so I was never going to get buried by Fran again. That was it. I was done. I was going to lose weight. I was going to get fit. I was looking around this class of people that I picked up. I'm much stronger than, and it's still to this day. There's a lot of people in my class that beat the crap out of me in workouts, and I'm much, much stronger than them. So I realized that it was kind of like the marrying of a lot of different backgrounds, being strong, good muscular endurance, body coordination, flexibility. There's still things I don't have the flexibility to do, like a dumbbell squat snatch. It's fun. You never run out of things to work on. And
exactly, like we always say, welcome to CrossFit, where you'll never be good enough, right? It's always the next fucking thing. I tell people that all the time. I think I got that quote from you. I think you said it. And I was like, dude, this is like, so I tell people all the time, it's like, because what happens when you get good at something, or like, okay, I want to squat 315. Well, okay, you squat 315, you're stoked for an hour, 10 minutes, and you're like, well, and then you're like, well, now I want to squat 335, right? It's like fucking boom, it's the next thing. Oh, I did blah, blah, blah. Fran in 2 minutes. Well, now you want to do it in a minute 50. Like,
it's constant. Why did I break there? Why did I chalk my hands?
Right. And I tell people that all the time, and I think it's so fucking cool about it is it applies to like life in general, is the constant strive to be better, the constant strive for success, right? Like, you, not just CrossFit in general. I mean, CrossFit, yeah, it's a constant strive, but like in life, you want to be a better father, you want to be a better husband, a better son, a better person, a better friend. And once you become better at those things, then, well, you just try to keep on being better. You keep on trying to, up the next level, right? Because it's like you become a good person, but you can't just like become a good person and then now you're a good person forever, right? Like, you have to continue to try to be a good person. Just like in CrossFit, you have to continue to try to get better. And once you stop working in an area, CrossFit in life, like, you start putting your attention towards one specific thing and you get good at it. Well, now you're lacking in that area or those areas that you just stopped focusing on, right? So you start working on your deadlift more. Well, now you need to go back and work on your snatch more because you haven't snatched in a month. Absolutely. It's just so fun in that regard.
I actually think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's something that I admire about the coaching staff is you, not just our gym, but coaches in general, especially like CrossFit. Being able to look at an athlete, help them identify places for growth, and then you start to realize as you talk to these people, like my coach for 530 is Chris, and I spend a lot of time talking to her about stuff, but we've talked about life and other things, and it's just you even if without intending to, you're like, you're going to make an impact on somebody's work ethic. You're going to make an impact on their ability to set a goal, see a goal through, pick a new goal, and never just be like, okay, I'm good now. I mean, some people do, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But you would still see that, like, there's that itch that nobody wants to fail at CrossFit. Nobody wants to fail in life. You can see that a lot of the people that go to a CrossFit gym are pretty successful people. Just the ability to see those things through, even just showing up and doing the class work. And that's all you do is just do class. Look at the board, do class, execute class. That level of discipline is a reflection of who they are as a people. Yeah, like they are almost, I would say unilaterally, the membership, at least at Double Edge, which is my experience, they're all good people. I've yet to meet somebody coming to class and being like, who is that guy? Like you get to know everybody. Yep. They have a level head. They work hard. It is a cool community to be a part of.
Yeah, and I always like correlate. I've never obviously done this, but like I always think of like Navy SEALs and like the military mindset. You know, the people in the bond that they create with the like SEALs, for example, just because they go through crazy fucking hard shit. And like even if you don't know the person beside you, you look over and they're doing Fran with you, and you can respect them because they're fucking doing it. And then like you don't even know them, and you go up and say, "Hey, good job, man," or like whatever, "Good job, girl, lady, whoever it may be, you know, older grandma or whatever, anyone," and you fucking respect them because they suffer through it, right? And there's that shared suffering creates that bond, and I think it's just something about it. It's incredible. And like the times when you like want to give up in a workout, you're like, fuck, this sucks. Why am I here? And you look up and you see 20 other people and they're still going. You're like, oh, well, I guess I can do it.
That's when you look at that buddy and you're like, hey, he's not going to beat me though. That's not going to happen. I don't want to do this, but I ain't going to let him win.
Exactly. Right. I know he doesn't want to do it. So we're just not going to want to do it together, but we're still going to fucking do it. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's really huge for the mentality of.
So now you're almost 3 years in.
Yeah. This is my third open.
That went by quick.
It was my third open. I've improved every year, so that's positive.
Oh yeah, third open. Not only like third open, but like you joined right when they did the double. Well, you missed.
I caught the first open of the double open.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was right after.
Or the second, whatever the second thing was.
They did it in October of 2019. It was weird. Because you saw, I mean, it was always in February and March like it is now. But anyhow, and then, then
I missed the double open 21, 22, 23.
Yeah, so. That's right. Third open. And constantly getting better, right? And that's
small awesome. Progress, but progress is progress. And that's really the best thing about it. And just pick a goal and shoot for that and figure out where you got to get better.
Exactly. All right. So I got crossed off I got some notes here. So you kind of went over your like you'd say CrossFit's a hobby, right? Or like a pastime, or it's like you're part of your life now. Like you just do it. It's not like you have to do it. You want to do it, but you like is your next. So if CrossFit's number one for things you do or enjoy, is number two golf? I know you like to golf a lot. Yeah. Would you say it's number two?
I would. Yeah. No, video games used to be. Like so.
Oh right, yeah, for sure.
So far past everything, but I'd rather do things with my body now, and that's kind of the thing. Is like I stopped leveling up in games, and that's really like my
started leveling up in life, baby.
I did. I started picking.
That's a quote right there, dude. We just fucking made that up.
Just level up outside.
That's good. Yeah,
that's the idea. And so, I played golf when I got injured, and like I played golf a little bit as a kid, and I at least knew how to swing a club. But when I got injured, it was the only athletic activity I still did. So
you could still swing a club even though you're fractured your elbow.
So after the initial healing process, I could still hit a baseball. Like I still could swing a club, but for me,
did it hurt?
No. Once everything was repaired, it was fine. It doesn't hurt to throw anything now. You'll see major league pitchers, they'll go through something called a Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, that's right.
Mine wasn't terribly far off, and what ends up happening is sometimes you lose it. Like it's hard to explain, but like the ball didn't move anymore. Like 4 or 5 inches of movement just stopped moving. And when you start throwing just straight balls, people light you up. I pitched to a guy that was in the major leagues, and it didn't go well, and it never went well. Like
did that bother you at all? Like, were you like heartbroken? Like, fuck, my baseball career is over. It was like whatever.
It sucked in the beginning. It took a little while, but I wasn't. Everybody, you know that guy that's like, yeah, I benched 405 and back in the day.
Uncle Rico, dude. Uncle Rico. That's right.
I'd have been in the NFL. I'd be starting on the Chargers.
Dude, if coach would have put me in.
Yeah, no, I don't think that at all. Maybe I could have snuck in and played some college ball, but that's where it would have ended for me.
Okay, so picked up golf in this.
Yeah, it's just something you can do as an adult, and so in the last
and you're pretty good at golf. Like you said, you're natural at everything you do. I feel like
I'm pretty good at golf.
Right.
I play to a single digit handicap, which in golf terms means I usually shoot in the 70s.
So like, and in CrossFit terms, that means you golf like RX.
I would be like quarterfinals.
Okay.
Maybe at one point in my life I could have pushed towards that next round and gotten close, but that's about as far as I'd get. I've shot a couple rounds at par. Did you
ever do any like not opens or like the US Open, but like what is like a baby competition for that?
Yeah,
or like
I played a couple city tournaments in Los Angeles, which it sounds small, but LA is huge. Yeah. And I made it through some tournaments to get into those tournaments. I played okay. My senior year of high school, I played for a city team out of Woodley Lakes Golf Course.
Gotcha.
And it was fun. I enjoyed that. And so now, as I've gotten more athletic, when I was doing powerlifting, I had a really hard time playing golf. It would always bug my back. It would agitate things. And as CrossFit has kind of helped me be more mobile, a little bit more athletic, explosive, I'm much better at golf now. I actually think that I might be better now than I ever have been. I just don't practice as much.
Okay. That's awesome.
Like the little sharp stuff of like missing putts and a bad chip, that happens because of practice, but my swing, fatigue levels, like that stuff's much better.
This is sorry, not random, but are you stronger now than when you were powerlifting, you think?
Oh, 100%. I don't know if progressive overload would have got me to where I am now if I would have kept powerlifting.
Yeah. But
I would say I move better and I'm stronger.
So you can deadlift heavier now than you could 6 years ago.
Deadlift for dogs, when we did that little silly comp, what was that, last March? I PR'd in that comp. So I mean, I'm still getting stronger.
And so then for reference, that was a 595 or 6?
Yeah. 595. I missed 6 in the back afterwards.
That's right. Yeah. 595, which is fucking insane. What did you deadlift back in 20?
When I was working up to it, I was like 505, 525.
So you fucking put almost 100 pounds on your deadlift because of
absolutely. CrossFit. And see, I mean, so powerlifters hear that and they're like, yeah, whatever, man. I put 100 on my total this last year, and that might be true. But not only did I do that, I lost I went from 21% body fat to I think I'm 8.5 right now. I'm 213 pounds, and I haven't lost that much weight. I started CrossFit at 231. I'm 213 the last in body. So what was that, 18 pounds? But 18. It's like pure fat. I'm so much healthier. I'm in the best shape of my life, but it's not just that.
Run
everything. I can do my job. I can get in and out of the package car 400 times. Like, it doesn't bother me. Everybody gives me a hard time when I'm training because I'm tall, and they tell me to slow down. So I had to reteach myself that not everybody can move. Not everybody is hurting or is tired and just keeps going.
Yeah.
And that's my hardest time training employees at work, is slowing down to what I assume is a lazy pace. It's really the best way to put it.
Let's fucking go, dude. This is for time.
Exactly. I'm walking on their heels, literally sometimes clicking their heels, trying to get them to go faster.
It kind of is funny. It is a joke, to say it's for time, but I mean, it literally is for time. We're trying to get this shit done fast.
That's the way I look at it. Is I want to go home to my family, and I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, that's interesting. That people just, I don't know. That's just life. People are.
There's
lazy.
Always going to be those people, and you see it in any job.
Yep, see it. Yeah, literally. Go outside and just anywhere. So back to golf. You golf now for fun. You golf on the side. Would it ever be something that you would pursue again, or I mean, you want to compete?
I'm too old to pursue golf. No, I don't think I'll pursue golf. But
So
I have set personal goals for myself. So CrossFit has
yeah.
taught me one thing, which is if you learn how to just set incremental goals, you'll never be done entertaining yourself. Like I have a goal this year. I want to shoot under 75.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can. It'll have to be a perfect round, but that's the goal. This summer, if the snow ever goes away, I'm going to shoot 75 or under at least once this summer. It's going to happen. I'm going to practice. It's
Well, the
going to
only
happen.
way to do anything is you have to have goals. Otherwise, what the fuck are you doing, right? Like,
But I
apply
don't
that to
think
anything,
that's
like you said.
I don't think that's the case for a lot of people though.
No, it's not. Well, everyone's so comfortable and content with where they are, but nobody wants to get out of their comfort zone. Nobody wants to wake up an hour earlier and do that thing that they don't want to do, but they know they need to do, or whatever it is.
I couldn't agree more. That's why it's interesting, like career paths, where you see what people actually do after you meet them, and then you meet their demeanor. It's just like I don't know, like there's so many positive people that I've met more recently in my life now that are linked to one specific thing, and so it's something that I've been trying to bring people into also. There's a few people that go to the gym now with us that came from my work.
Right.
And now they're enjoying it, and like one guy brought his wife, and it's really cool to see that progression of people finding other like-minded people and then wanting to do things together.
That's the ripple effect, dude. You had the ripple effect on them.
It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Fucking A, dude. Oh man, well shit. We fucking flew through my topics, dude.
It was a good talk. It's good to let you know, because I know that we talk about this stuff, but never at length like that. So
no, like I didn't know your full story like that, and that's why, like I mean, I learned a lot about you, and even though we talk every day, but I just thought it would be cool to have you on because I knew I had a story like that, and can bring value to whoever went that same direction or whatever.
I actually learned a lot from episode 2, the Code story.
Oh, really?
I didn't know there's some dark underground times there for Coach Code.
Fuck yeah. Just like, yeah. That's awesome.
The Halo expert, Coach Code, was
dude, Halo, yeah. Did you play Halo?
Stuff. I did not play Halo. No. I played Counter-Strike. So
Counter-Strike, that's right. Yeah.
Counter-Strike players don't play Halo. You make fun of Halo players.
Yeah, I guess, and you're obviously older than me, so it was like that was like kind of the more mature game was Counter-Strike back then.
They're very different games.
Well, and most of us, like as kids, we didn't have computers as kids, and like obviously you being older, it's like the more mature thing. I mean, I had a computer, but it wasn't like, I don't know. I played Diablo, that was it.
Other than it was like you. Once I had enough of my own money, I was like, I'm gonna go buy a sweet computer, and that's what I did.
Is this your computer now? Does it just sit there? I mean, you don't play anything anymore.
I haven't updated it for a long time. It's bad boys collecting dust, but this is my old gaming PC that I built in like 2017.
Yeah, I just upgraded mine this year, but I was like, just because mine was old and it was like, I still game a little bit, and I was like, might as well have one.
There's nothing wrong with gaming still. Don't get me wrong, but
no,
balancing that time,
everything in moderation, bro.
Yeah, moving your body. I'm a big proponent that your body is a direct link to your cognitive function.
Dude, 100%.
Take care of your body, you'll take care of your mind. You'll be sharper longer.
Everything else gets better, man. Once you can throw in some fitness and some health, it just makes life easier and better.
Absolutely.
Right on, D. Well, that's all I have, dude. Anything else? Got anything else? I don't know.
Just a genuine thank you for pulling me into the CrossFit community. I really do.
Dude,
I
welcome.
do think that my life has gotten better in the last 3 years. It's been a cool transition for me from like not really sure what I wanted to this gives me kind of like a thing that I really enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
Gave me goals again. It's a very positive influence on my life. And for anybody that might be listening for Coach Code over here, or if you know Cody from life,
or you,
I strongly suggest that you give this man a chance to have an impact on you, because he will.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You've had an impact on my life too, man.
100% heartfelt. You are one of the most positive people I know. So pleasure's all mine being here.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate you. I'm glad you've been in my life and we've gotten close over the last couple of years. And I'm glad you reached out to me and messaged me, because That's awesome, dude.
This could have gone differently, man. Like,
sure.
I could still be in the closet playing games, man.
That's right, and you might still just be, lifting in the garage or whatever. Which is nothing wrong with that, but like,
no, I could be 3 bills still, wondering why Cody's picking up baby weight. I don't know.
That's right. Be like, what the fuck, thruster? 95 pounds, bro. I curl that.
That's right. For 5 before I take a 6-minute rest.
That's right. Right on, man. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for listening. Episode 3 of Code Unlocked. What's your where can people find you?
Oh, I didn't put that in there.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
It is at Cap Szabo, SZABO 84. That's my Instagram. It's pretty much the only social media.
There's an underscore in there.
Let's look, dude. I don't know.
Dude, you don't even know? I think it's
no. I don't.
I think I know
there is an underscore. You do, man. Let's get this bad boy in here. Hold on. I think I can update it.
Yeah, just change your name to it.
Yeah, we're figuring that out. Please hold settings.
Yeah, bro. People want to follow you. They're gonna listen to this. I'm such a popular podcaster now that like,
You know what? This could be the very first interview that you've given on the Future Joe Rogan Experience, man.
That's right, dude.
You don't knock yourself on this. Well, it's Cap_84. It's right there, Cap Szabo 84.
Yeah, start over. Yeah. So if you're not watching, it's CAP_SZABO 84. And that's give Dustin a follow. Go look at his you're jacked on those photos in there. That's right. I forgot you have some selfie. Dude, you need to update one of one's from like a long fucking time ago, actually.
They're all from a long time ago.
You're still jacked, but like you're more jacked now. You need to
we'll have to get some quarterfinals action and throw it up there.
There you go. Next week
for for when I just root you on and probably do the workouts just for the hell of it.
Yeah, you should. It'd be fun. You should have a good group. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for listening. Dustin, thanks again.
Peace out.
See you on the next time. Peace.